So fine. Yesterday we were discussing profiler, right?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. I have to wait for
Yeah. Today we will
that's
discuss. Yeah. So today we will discuss our last topic of React. The last topic is unit testing. Let's discuss how to add unit testing in React project. Okay, fine. So what is unit testing? Who should write unit testing? How to write unit testing in React project? Let's understand that. Yes, unit testing is a great discipline which can lead to 40 to 80% reduction in production bug density. Or we can say when we add unit testing in our project, it reduces the number of bugs. It also improves your application architecture and maintainability. So when we write unit testing, we always try to break down our things into smaller chunks. We always try to break down the things into small functions so that we will be able to write proper unit testing. And indirectly, it improves the application architecture and application maintainability. When we write unit testing, it provides quick feedback on file save. You save the file, you get the feedback. If there is any issue, we will see it. If there is any issue in the code, we will find it. And it tells you whether the changes you made, whether the changes you made is working fine or not. This can replace lot of console log and clicking around the UI to test whether your changes are working fine or not. The good thing with the React is that there is something called snapshot testing. That snapshot testing will help to understand because of my change, is there any UI broken? UI broken means, is there any DOM structure change? That also we can validate. Yeah. So in React, to write unit testing, we are using a technology, or we are using a library. That library name is JEST. JEST is the library. JEST is the library we are using to write unit testing. Right? Hmm. Fine. So what is JEST? Yes, JEST is an open source test framework. It is created by Facebook. It is created by Facebook. It includes a command line tool for test execution similar to what Jasmine and Mocha offer. So it is similar like Jasmine and Mocha. Jasmine is a testing framework heavily used by Angular, and there are few projects where people use Mocha as a unit testing framework. But in React application, we neither use Jasmine, we nor use Mocha. We use a similar framework called JEST. JEST is the similar framework like Jasmine and Mocha. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Yeah. So when we use JEST, what is the benefit that we get? Hmm. And when we use Jasmine also, we are using Karma as a test runner. But when we use JEST, JEST provides its own command line tool or its own test runner.
Okay. So JEST is a testing tool also, you can say, like Jasmine. Again, it is a runner itself also.
Yes, yes. JEST offers a feature called snapshot testing. There is one feature called snapshot testing.
Yeah, নতুন মনে হয় সব testing.
With the help of snapshot testing, we can check and verify the component rendering result. The component, what result it is rendering, what DOM structure it is rendering, is it correct or wrong? All these things we can verify.
আমার কি জানতে হবে চলছে?
Create React app ships or comes with JEST already. No need to install it explicitly. So JEST will be already there in
ও
your
আমাদের
React
ইয়ে
project. No need to do anything
এগুলো
extra.
ভাববে আমাদের অন্য দিয়ে করতে
So
হলে
to
ভাবতে
create
হবে।
a unit testing project, we have to install all these libraries. This one we have to install. This one we have to install. This one we have to install. This one is required only for snapshot testing. If you don't want snapshot testing, you don't want DOM structure testing, you want only functionality testing, this is enough. Yeah. Now,
This is mandatory to install while creating that project or only testing after that complete that project? Which one is best way?
only for testing. If
Okay.
you want to write unit testing, then
Mm.
only we should do that. So I'll show you one example also. Do I have a project called unit testing? JEST demo is a project. In this JEST demo, what I'll do, I'll show you something. Give me a second. I'm going on mute for a second, guys.
আমার এই তিনটা হলো হয়ে চলছে। কেন বলতো এগুলো লঙ্কা ফঙ্কাগুলো তো টেনেছি তো ওইগুলো কি হবে?
আর আমি এই লঙ্কার ঝাঁঝটা আমার লেগে গেলেই উঠে যায়। আর রসুন কেটেছো তুমি?
হুম।
ওই জন্য যখন সেই মাঝে কেউ ছিল না না, আমি আসতাম
রসুন কিনে নিতিস।
হ্যাঁ,
রসুন কাটতে জ্বালা হওয়ার তো ব্যাপার থাকে না, লঙ্কা কাটতে জ্বালা হওয়ার ব্যাপার থাকে।
তাহলে তোমার লঙ্কাতেই রয়েছে, আমার রসুনও হলো।
রসুন তো আগুনে করে করে জ্বালা, ওইখানটা কাজ হয়েছে না।
করছে কপি পেস্ট।
একটা কোড অলরেডি বানানো আছে, এটা খুলে ফেললাম, টেস্টিং এর কোড লেখা আছে, টেস্টে ছাড়িয়ে দেবে। আমাদের
Okay.
কাল কপি পেস্ট করে দিয়ে আবার
So this is a new project. JEST demo is a new project. In this project, I'll show you how to run unit testing.
টেস্টিং করা ছিল এক্সটার্নাল।
To run unit testing in any React project, the command name is npm test. When we say npm test, unit testing will be running for this project. Yeah, you can see the unit testing ran successfully, and it is saying that all these files are done with unit testing. One is util.test.js, one is button.test.js, one is app.test.js. Then, yes, there are total 3 test suite. There are total 6 test case. There is one snapshot testing. All these are running fine. Any question here?
Sir,
Any
what do you
question?
mean by snapshot testing? How it's considered?
Yeah, I'll come to that point. What is snapshot testing? I'll cover. Yeah. So whenever we run this command npm test in any project, it will show you how many test suites you have, how many test cases you have, how many snapshots we have, how much time it took to run. If it fails, you can press A to run all the test case. You can press F to fail the run the failed test case. You can press Q to quit the watch mode. You can press Q. You can press P to filter by a file name. You can press T to filter by test name. You can press enter to trigger a test run. Any question with this command npm test? Any question? No. Suppose our project has a lot of test files. We have button test.js, app test.js. We have. If we want to run only one file, if we want to run only one file, then the command is npm test hyphen hyphen abc.test.js, npm test hyphen hyphen, what is the file name? app.test.js, app.test.js. So it will run the unit testing only for one file. And no, no, it is running for all, right? It is running for util also, button also, app also. So something is missed.
But app includes all components. That's the
ಇದು moisturizer দাও আমার
No, I don't think that is the problem. Q to quit, right? What was the command to quit?
ও বাবা বলছি টেবিলের উপর এরকম করে রাখা যাবে না, দেখ
হ্যাঁ
টেবিলের
npm
উপর এরকম করে হাত
test.
রাখা যাবে না,
Does it need file?
ওই জন্য তোমার হাতে ওরকম হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
Sir,
Let
while running that npm test, it automatically create a test.js
মানে
file for
যোগা মানে
each
তারপর টেবিলের
component.
উপর তারপর হাত দেবে।
no, we have to
যোগা ম্যাটের মতো
we
মিশিয়ে
have to
হুম
have test file.
Mm-hmm.
See, I will run now npm test. I want to test hyphen hyphen only this file. You will see it will run only app file. It will not run other files. See here,
আজকে আমরা লেগ পিস
it will run.
হ্যাঁ
It is testing only one file.
আমার হয়ে
React scripts test app.test.js.
আমরা দুই চিকেনের লোভে হয়ে যাবে চিকেন আমরা কিছুই খাই না মেখে খেতে পারবো আর ভালো লাগবে না। একটু হোক তারপর অনেক টাইম আধা ঘন্টারও বেশি
How many test suite it is running?
আর অনেকেই এখানে রিয়াক্ট জানি
One.
One. It didn't run the test case for all the files, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is test suite? What is test case? Let's understand.
টেস্ট শুট মানে সবগুলোকে টেস্ট শুট বলা হচ্ছে, টেস্ট কেস মানে একটা টেস্ট কেস বলা হচ্ছে।
Now, if you look at here, this app test.js is having one describe. One describe means one test suite. Inside this describe, test or it,
হুম
every test or every it is called one test case. It is called one test case. If you want to run only one test case, you don't want to run everything. To run only one test file, npm test hyphen hyphen file name. To run only one test case, to run only one test with JEST, temporarily change that test command to a test.only.
Arek
So here we
no.
will write test.only. So here we will write test.only. Only one test case will run. Now if I go and run it again, now if I go and run again, it will run only one test case,
হ্যাঁ
not all the test
আমিও
cases.
কারণ কালকে
How
তো
many
আজকে
tests
সকালে
it
উঠাতে
is
হয়েছে।
running?
তাড়াতাড়ি করে চলে যাবো
There are total 2. Out of 2, how many it skipped and how many it is running?
আর তুই কেন অফিস যাবি
One skipped, one running.
কি বলছিস?
So there are 2. This is one, this is another one. The second one is skipped, the first one is running.
If we want to run the second one,
We will write only there. So we will remove only from here. It dot only.
Okay. It will be working in only one. Okay. Yeah.
If you have another it, this is it 3. This is it 3. Console.log it 3. If you run it again, it will say 1 running, 2 skipped.
কোথায় এগুলো ফ্রিজে ঢুকিয়ে দিই বলো?
একটু ঠান্ডা হয়ে যাও।
ঠান্ডা হয়ে গেছে পুরো। ওটা আমাকে এক্ষুনি প্যাক করতে হবে।
বড়টা নিয়ে যাও একটু
এর থেকে বড়টা আছে, এর থেকে বড়টা করলে ভালো হবে। এর থেকে এটাই ভালো হবে।
এটাই ভালো বড়টা ভালো দেবো
হোয়াট কাইন্ড অফ স্টাফ ইট ইজ?
তুই খেয়েছিস
আমি খেয়েছিলাম, আমি সেখানে রেখে
You see how many skipped?
To skip one pass.
two skipped and one test.
So did you understand how to run a file, how to run a it?
ইয়েস
Okay. Then terminologies. Let's understand. When we open a test case, app.test is a test case. app.test.js. In this file, ideally, what all things we will find and what is what? Let's understand. When you open app.test.js, we have one describe method. What is this describe method? What is this test method? Describe method is an optional method to wrap a group of test cases. To combine a group of test cases, we have describe method. Using describe method, we can create a test suite. What we can create? Test suite.
Test
What is
suite.
a test suite? A test suite is nothing but number of test cases, right? It will hold number of test cases. Describe method takes 2 arguments. One is the message, second is the callback function. Whenever you write describe, the first argument is string, second argument is a callback function. The describe method describe method's text acts as a header before the test results are shown. So when it shows the test result, it will show the describe, it will show the it here. You see? Is it clear?
ইয়েস স্যার
Yes, yes.
Can you tell me what is describe and what is the use of describe? Can you explain?
Yeah, so describe is nothing but a collection of all the test cases. I mean, that is the test suite, or you can say. That is the use of it to wrap all the group of test cases. And it is nothing but one test cases. We define it with it and give some description and do that. And describe method takes a message and then a callback function. Similar like it also takes a message string and then a callback functions.
This describe it, all these functions are from React or from which language?
From JEST, correct?
Yes, yes. These are from JEST. All these methods are available in JEST. Next, what is
It
it?
says it's an optional method. So in a test case, we don't have to write describe, but still write it.
Yeah, describe is not must. We can directly write it also.
Okay.
But when we surround all the its with one describe, it makes more sense and we should do that. Okay. What is it method or test method? It or test method is used to write one test case. To write one test case, we will have one it method or one test method. Anything is fine. Alternatively, we can use. It method takes two arguments, one string and a callback function. It method allows us to write some text describing what a test should successfully achieve. Okay. When we write test dot only, when we write test dot only, it executes only that test case from that file and test cases from other files, skips the test cases present in the same file. We know, right, what is test dot only? Any question? What is test dot only?
Taster only is only chicken combo.
It only runs the specific
Huh,
case.
fine. Let me do one thing. I will show you how to write our own test case. What I'll do,
যোগ করবে দুটো নাম্বার আছে
in util folder,
এটাই অবসেশন
in
হলো
util
কালকে এপিআই
folder,
কল ধরলাম আমি জিজ্ঞেস করলাম বললাম আরে এপিআই কল থেকে ডেটা নিয়ে গেছে সেটাকে দেখো আমার যেটা কাজে লাগবে
there is a file called
হয়ে
util.js.
গেল যেটা এখানে দেখতে
There is a
পাবো
file called
আমরা যোগ
util.js.
করতে তো দেখতে দেখতে সবাই পারবে
If your manager asks to
There is a file called
no
util.js
manager will ask for
and
admin.
হ্যাঁ
there is
ওটা
a file
বোঝা
called
গেলে ঠিক আছে কিন্তু একটু এক্সট্রা ডিটেইলস এপিআই কল
util.test.js.
গুলো দেখানো উচিত না কিভাবে
To
করবে
write unit testing, this is util.js. Suppose in util.js, we have written some JavaScript code.
আবার দেখেন এখানেও
When
যোগ
we
করে
have
দেবো
some JavaScript code written here,
হ্যাঁ ও যোগেরই দিয়ে দেবে না এটাই দিয়েও
we
যোগ
have to
করবে
write unit testing
প্রথমটা
code
তো
for
যোগ
this.
করতেই হয়
Now we will understand how to write unit testing code for this.
তো ওটাই তো অবাক হবো
আমি ভাবতাম ছোটবেলায় হয়তো আমাকে বাইরে দিয়ে যেতাম
Yeah.
যোগ যোগ করতাম
So let's see.
যোগ যোগ
So to write unit testing for a file,
ফলে যখন যোগ
first of
করতে
all,
হবে
we will write a describe. What we will write? Describe. This describe will take two things. One is a
ভালো
message
বলে
ভালো বলেছিল
testing,
আবার ডিএমএস খুব ভালো পারতো
or else we can say
তুমি
test suite.
নিজে একা পড়ে
Test
এরকম
suite.
পড়া বুঝিয়ে 98 পেয়েছিল
Callback
Test
function.
suite for
প্র্যাকটিক্যালি আমি ফুল মার্কস পেতাম
utils file.
প্র্যাকটিক্যালে খাতা পত্র কেউ কোনোভাবে
Then
কোথাও ছুতে পারতো না
the second argument is a function. Here what we will do? Here what we will do? We will write lot of it. We will write it. Suppose we want to test add method. Then we will say test case For add method, test case for add method. Then what we will do?
ওটি হয়ে আছে
So this
বসে যাবে নাকি? বসে যাবে নাকি?
function, if I call by passing 2 and 3,
ও,
we should expect 5. So we will say
3 ঘন্টা জার্নি রান্না করা। আমি তো 5টা মেল করেছি।
হ্যাঁ তো তারপর আমরা গেছি
expect
দেখো কত কিছু
utils
কাটাকাটি
dot add
ইয়ে করা
সব নিয়ে বলছি, 5:30
utils
থেকে
dot
বলছি।
add
আর
or
ও
we can
আমাদের মতো
directly
করে
import
দিয়েছে,
also.
ওর মাথাতে বেরিয়ে গেছে। আর ওই আমাদের মতনই অনেক
Expect
এতক্ষণ হাত জ্বালিয়ে
add function, if I call by passing 1 and 2, it should be 3.
যত বসাবি তত ভালো খেতে হবে পাতি।
এই যে দেখো আমি
Expect
একটা তেল দিয়েছি আমার চর্বি তেল ও বলে এক্ষুনি ওই তেলটা পুরো আধা দিয়ে দিই মনে মনে উপমাটাতে তেল দিয়েছি কারণ মুড়িগুলোটাতে তেল
expect
না দিলে কালো একটু ভালো
10
লাগবে না
10 and
তোমায়
20
যাবে তুমি
should be
এই করে
30.
দাও
A-
এই করে
and
দাও
we can have
এরপরে আমি আর যেতে
expect
পারি
2 and minus 3
ইস,
should
ওই
be minus 1, like this. All the possible options
কিছু লোক ওঠে
we will
মাঝে ওঠে,
add it here.
তারা ঘর থেকে ইডলি করে নিয়ে ওঠে,
করে
এত
নি,
ওঠে।
এত
না না,
So
তারা
this
আবার
is
বেশি
one
করে।
it we are writing inside that describe.
এগুলো
Like that
তেল করে নিলে
we will repeat
তখন
this
হবে।
it.
সবাইকে
We
দিয়ে
will
দিয়ে
repeat
খাওয়াচ্ছে,
this
একটা করে দিয়ে দিয়ে
it.
আসছে।
One
চর্বি
for
ধরে গেছে,
addition,
ভালো দিয়ে আসছে ছেলে।
one
ও মহিলাগুলো তো
হ্যাঁ,
for
ওগুলো ওরা
sub function.
সকালে
There
ওই
is a
করে
sub
আসছে।
function. If we say
যেমন ওখানেও পাওয়া
20
যায়
and 10, it
এইটাও তো
should
দেখানো
be
হবে না, দিয়ে
10.
যাচ্ছে।
10 and 20, it should be minus 10.
কোনা কোথায়
2 and minus
এটা আমার
3,
বলছে না।
it should be 5. Like this, we can write
না, না, ভালো করে।
expects.
আমি খালি দেখছি,
Then
বাস।
now let us run the unit testing and see how it looks like. So I'll run the test case. To run the test case, let me use the normal command prompt.
Hello.
ফোন করবো?
Yes,
Line number 11 to 13, I think add or subtraction.
কি
Sir.
আপডেট তোমার?
it should be subtract. Yeah, now we will run the test case. npm test hyphen util dot test dot js.
ফোন করলাম, কি খবর? ভোরবেলা বেরো, সাড়ে 5টা 6টার দিকে বেরো, 5:30।
You see one test suite that is passing, two test cases. How many test cases are there? Two test cases. They are passing.
খুব ভালো হবে।
Snapshot 0 snapshot,
ধন্যবাদ।
time 3.9 second.
আমিও কাল যাচ্ছি, সকালবেলা ট্রেন ধরতে যাচ্ছি। 10টা দিকে
For
যাবো, 4টার
testing
দিকে চলে যাবো।
is even method,
রাতের বেলা বেরো।
we'll write it again. It
দেখো যদি করতে পারো খুবই ভালো হয়। 100-এর মধ্যে আরো ভালো হয়,
it
100
should
লাগবে না।
test
দুজনের জন্য মোটামুটি জায়গা আছে তো? দুজন শুতে পারবো তো?
is even method,
ঠিক আছে।
and here what we will do, expect is even. If I call by passing true, it should return me true. Expect is even by passing 3, it should be false. So all these things we can add. Now if we run, it should say press A to run all the test cases, press A. W A. hmm, You see, it is running the test cases. There are three test suite, three total, two test case skipped, five passed, total seven. Because somewhere we have used only.
My company will come and add it
Because
on
of
this
that,
road.
in
This
ARM,
is the
we
content
have
high
used
road.
only. We
And
should
the content
delete
of
that.
overall is how placement is.
Now
How is
everything
what
will
placement
run.
to order side to coaching. If anyone knows, please tell me. I'm asking to all the persons who will be the member of this group. They say as register in the
Yeah.
November placement of
Out of out of three, all test files are running. Out of seven, all seven are passed. Out of one snapshot, one is passed.
Hello,
Any question here?
same bhai.
No. So what is this expect? Expect is a predefined method. The expect method compares the actual value with the expected value. What is my actual value? And when I call that function, what I am expecting. Expect add 2 comma 3 to be 5. If I call add function by passing 2 and 3, I should expect 5. JEST matchers. These are the matchers we have in JEST programming language or JEST library. You can search also JEST matchers. So what all JEST matchers we have? We have lot of JEST matchers to be null, to be denied, defined, to be undefined, to be truthy, to be falsy. All these are JEST functions. To be to be is used for primitive values. Not to be, not to be. So here we can say when I'm calling each even method by passing 5, it should not be true. Not dot to be, not dot to be true. It should not be true like this. To be, not to be. To equal, not to equal. This to equal and not to equal mainly for an array. Suppose we have array 1 and array 2. We want to check two arrays are same or not. So we will write array comparison. In array comparison, I will say expect array 1 dot to be array 2. It will give you error. What is the error? What is the error? So the error should be, it should fail here. See, it failed. Why it is failing?
To be will be for
Primitive.
yeah,
For array and object comparison, instead
equal
of to be, we should use to equal.
to equal.
To equal. It should succeed now. Yeah, all passed, right? Yeah, this is to equal, to be, not to be, to equal, not to equal, to be null, to be defined, to be undefined, to be truthy. If you want to check, the value should be either one or true or any string or any number. Then we use to be truthy. To be falsy. for all the false values. To be greater than, to be greater than or equal, to be less than, to be less than or equal, to match, to contain. To contain means, suppose this array has 10, 20, 30, 40. I want to compare, expect array 1, array 1 to contain 40, array 1 not to contain
Hello.
50. It means my array should not contain 50. My array should contain 40, right? These are the matchers we have in JEST. Any question in this list? Any question? Yeah. These predefined functions are coming from where? They are from JEST.
So this is for the functionality and comparison kind of things we use these functions.
Hmm.
If we say if the UI, if we say if we have a form, we have around 10 fields. If we want to test whether those 10 fields exist, in that case, can we use
Yeah.
these or how do we
Yeah.
test?
For that, we use snapshot testing. So unit testing, actually, unit testing is mainly for testing the logic. When you have a factorial function, whether your factorial function is working fine or not, you want to validate that, you can write unit testing, right?
Yes.
Function, factorial, factorial. What is the logic of factorial function? This is the logic, right? Isn't it?
Yes.
Now, I want to validate the logic I have written is correct or not. So, what we will write here? It should test
Factorial method.
factorial, factorial method. And what we will expect here? We will say expect, when I call factorial by passing 5, it should be
Yeah.
120.
Correct. So
Then we will say factorial of 0 should be 1. Factorial of 2 should be 2. What is factorial of 2?
two,
2. Factorial of 3 should be
6.
6, like this. And when we run, yeah, 9 are passed. Yes, unit testing we mainly write to validate the logic or the
Functionality.
but we can also verify the DOM structure using snapshot testing. Before we go to snapshot testing, let me explain. Just global function. What is just global function? JEST has four global functions. JEST has four global functions. What are the four global functions JEST has? JEST has global functions like before all, before each, after all. There are four global functions we have. What are the what is the use of these global functions? Let me show you. Suppose we have a file called app.test.js. In this app.test.js, how many test should we have? How many tests should we have?
Test suit is one. No?
How many test case?
One, two, three, three.
Three test case. Now what I'm doing, I have four functions. Before each, after each, before all, after all. So what will happen? In this order, they will be called. First is before all will be called first. Then before all, after before all, before each, it one, after each. Before each, it two, after each. Before each, it three, after each. After that, after all. So this function will be called, this before all will be called how many times? If there are 10, it's available. How many times before all will be called?
Once. No?
Once. How many times this before each will be called?
10 times.
If there are 10 eights, n number of, if there are n number of eight function we have, this before each will be called how many times? N times, right? After each will be called how many times? N number of times. After all will be called how many times?
One time.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Suppose I'll ask you, okay, you are in ground. I'll ask you, before you start running, bind your shoes. So before you start running, you will bind your shoes. Before every round, drink a glass of water. After every round, eat banana. After all the rounds, open your shoes. So how many times you will bind your shoes and how many times you will open your shoes?
Once.
Bind shoe only once. Bind shoe is related to which function here?
Before all.
Before all. Open shoes. In which function you will write that logic?
After all.
After all. Drink water. In which function you will write?
Before each.
Eat banana.
After each.
If there are 10 eats available, how many times these two function will be called?
10 times.
Is it clear what is JEST global functions, how many global functions we have, and
Yeah.
how they are looking like, in what order they will be called? You can go and see also. First, what is called?
Before all.
The, after that,
Before each. After each.
For each
test,
test
no,
case.
before each, test case 1,
Yes.
after each.
Yeah.
Before each, test case 2, after each. Before each, test case 3, after each.
How many test cases are there? In time. Before each, after each. Running in n number of times.
Correct.
Before or after, only one time.
Only one time. So if you ask me, okay, what logic we will write where? If you have any initialization logic, if you want to initialize some variable, that to only once you want to do it here. After all, clean up. If you want to clean something on subscribe or you want to do any cleanup, do it here. What we should do in before each and after each? If you want to execute any logic before every it, you write in before each. If you want to write any logic after every it, write in after each. Are we clear with these four functions?
Yes, but do we initialize something in the test file?
We initialize na. See, uh, const link element equal to screen dot get element by text link element we created, right?
Okay.
If we have such kind of things, suppose you have a class and you have to create the object of that class. So here we are not creating object, we are directly importing. What if I have a logic to create object for a class? Using that object, I will call the functions. So what is the best method to do that?
Before.
Before all, right?
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah, the screen text which you were showing just before,
Hmm.
that's for the UI again.
That's for UI. Huh? Okay. The last part we are going to discuss is snapshot testing. Snapshot testing. What is snapshot testing and how to do snapshot testing in React? Snapshot testing are very useful tool whenever you want to make sure your UI does not change unexpectedly. If you want to verify your UI is not changing unexpectedly, we write snapshot testing. Let's understand one example also. Let's say if the component name is button, suppose we have a component whose name is button. Then let's say button is a component here. In this button, create underscore underscore taste underscore underscore folder. Create a folder like this and add test file with name button.test.js or button.spec.js. Anything is fine. Inside this, we will have a file button.test.js. Button.test.js. I'll show you. Give me a minute. Let me delete it. I'll do it from the beginning so that you can understand. Oh, okay. I'll delete this. Okay. There is a component. The component name is button. And what is this button doing? What is this button doing? In this button component, we have a button. On click of this button, we are printing console.log hi. This is our This is our main component. Now, if we want to add snapshot for this inside button, inside button, we will create a folder. The folder name will be underscore underscore taste underscore underscore. Then inside this, we will add a file button dot taste dot js. In this button dot taste dot js, we will write some code. It should be inside test. I'll move it. It's a file or folder. Let me delete. Inside this file will be present. Okay, this is the component. Inside component, we have the actual component. We have a test folder. Inside this, we have button test. This is our actual component. This is our unit testing file. In unit testing file, in unit testing file, we will add some okay. Snapshot testing. If you want to understand snapshot testing, you can go and search. You can always go and search JEST snapshot testing. Go here. It will help you step by step. Snapshot testing with JEST. So what we will do here, we will add this logic. So what are we doing? I am trying to import button component. I'm trying to import button component, and if we want to use button component, button is a component. We will simply use no props, nothing is required. We will use button component. Button component we are using. What happened? Button. Why button is not imported? Okay. Import button from button. Okay. So what are we doing here? Please understand. What are we doing? Please understand. So what are we saying? What are we saying? Renderer dot create button dot to JSON. Create a JSON file when this button component will be rendered. When the button component will be rendered, create a JSON file and expect tree to match the snapshot. The tree that will be generated should match with the snapshot. Now what will happen? If you run your test cases here, npm test, it will create a snapshot file. Look at here. Inside this, it will create a snapshot file. It will create a snapshot file and it will show you how the DOM structure should be looking like. You see, a snapshot folder is created and it is saying button component should always look like this. Button component should always look like this. Did you understand? So it created a snapshot and it is saying that the bottom component should always look like this. Now, if you go and change from click me one to click me, it will fail. It will start failing. So when you actually change the code, you are actually changing the code. Your test case will fail here. So it is failing. And what it is saying, it is saying that it is saying that
কিন্তু ওটা আমি
last
রাখছি না।
time it was click me one, but this time it is click me, right? Is it a intentional change? Is it a intentional change? Did you change it intentionally, or it's a
এটা দেখে নতুন জিনিস
wrong
পড়াচ্ছে দেখ
change?
স্ন্যাপশট টেস্টিং
If you say no, no, it was my intentional change. No, no, I need this. Actually, with my knowledge only, I want to delete hyphen one. This is a intentional change. If you know this is a intentional change, then you can see snapshot summary. One snapshot failed from one test suite. Inspect your code change or press U to update them. If you say no, no, actually I have changed it intentionally, please update my snapshot. You have to press U. When you press U, your snapshot file will be updated. Your snapshot file will be updated and it will run fine. Do you understand?
আমাদের দু তিনটে চারটে নিয়ে না
So there will be anyone changing any component's DOM structure, this snapshot will fail. If it fails, it will ask you, okay, the last time the DOM structure was this, current DOM structure is this. Are you sure you want this change? Is it an intentional change or by mistake? If you say no, no, it is intentional change, you have to press U.
আর একটু খাবে
So
If
this
the
npm test,
huh,
when we do, this snapshot is saving the previous UI
for the
view.
first time, for the first time, it will save the previous for this component how the DOM structure should be exactly like that. It will store here. And
Okay.
every time you go and change here, click me hyphen one. If I say it will fail, it will say ki in your
It will go with the
snapshot there is
snapshot.
no click me one. In your snapshot there is no click me one, but your actual code has click me one, which is correct.
Yes.
ইয়েস
It will compare against the snapshot file.
Got
If you
it.
say, why it is failing? Did I change it? If you say, oh, it is required. If it is required, press U.
আরে না
So
Okay.
your snapshot will be updated.
হেভি হচ্ছে ভাই
Snapshot is updated. Got it?
Yes.
If you say, no, 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 I didn't change, then you go and revert your actual code, not the snapshot code. Hmm?
তো দাঁত দিয়ে কাটতে হবে। আর অতটা আমি মুখে দিতে পারবো না, আমার
Snapshot
ছোট্টতম
testing adds a snapshots folder inside the
18
test
মিনিট কিছু
folder. If any accidental change happens, test case will fail.
আর এবং দিও
Press
মুখে
U
দেবে না,
to update the failing snapshots.
একটুখানি ইংলিশ দিলাম,
Is it clear?
ইংলিশ ঝোলটা হয়ে যাবে, তাই না?
Yes.
This is called snapshot testing.
So all UI level test we do in under snapshot testing, correct? Like
Under snapshot, huh?
any
Correct.
menu bar change, header change, footer change, those things we should track it.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. And here, like Angular, we don't generate any report like coverage folder and like that kind of things.
We can integrate. It doesn't come by default.
Okay,
It
okay.
doesn't come by default, but we can integrate. There is a tool how to add cover chura
Yeah.
plugin
Yeah.
in React testing library.
Hello. Yeah, hello. Yeah, Arjun participating.
So
Please go.
running test and creating code coverage report for React project. We have
Yeah.
to, yeah, it will also show the report, but for that we need extra setup.
Yeah, yeah.
There is a
Yeah, yeah. Please tell me.
login available. Code coverage with Covertura. This is the setup we need. You have to update your package.json.
What does this Kobachira do?
What it will do, it will scan your project. It will give you a report how many functions are there in your actual project, for how many functions you have written unit testing. So what is your coverage percentage? Let's say you have total 100 functions. Out of 100 functions, you have written unit testing for only 80 functions. So the unit testing coverage is 80%, right? It will
Okay.
show you the report in percentage, which line is covered, which line is not covered, which function is covered, which function is not covered. All those things we will be able to see. It will show you a report like this,
Okay.
something like this.
Hmm.
Architecture level and all. Also along with that DevOps knowledge, Docker, Kubernetes, deploying to the Docker, the container application, using different hardware and other DevOps workflow. So work on it. So I do have that kind of knowledge as well. Yeah, I do have basic understanding of Java and Node.js also. Like where I had to clear some of the APIs, by checking how others function and all. But I don't have like starting from scratch kind of experience when it comes about Java. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that is to comes under JavaScript, right? That is default thing. Like I'm expert on all those things. Like ESK, JavaScript.
If you want to run, if you want to
Yeah.
generate new snapshot,
Yes, yes.
this is the command. Just update snapshot.
Yeah, I do have, basic level of understanding and like creating clients, queries, and all those things, putting data in some cursor, users. Those things I have basic level of understanding, but I don't need to work really on that. There was a time I had to work, but I'm now working as a front end lead. So, but yes, I do have basic level of understanding. I do understand how things have become over there, how cursors, you can triggers, you can do these things.
Yeah.
7 or 8 months.
Let's go through all the things one more time. Let's understand what is your understanding. What did you understand?
Bangalore, current Bangalore, the
Okay.
project.
In React application, for writing unit testing, what is the library that we are using?
JEST.
Am I audible?
We are using JEST.
Just okay. In JEST, to verify the DOM structure, DOM tree,
Idea
we
for
use a concept. What is that called?
Snapshot testing.
Snapshot testing.
Snapshot testing.
To run all the test cases available in a project, what is the command?
NPM test.
To run only one test case, what is the command?
it was similar in Python development, similar analysis.
npm test hyphen hyphen that file name.
File name. To run only one test case,
Describe dot only or it dot only.
yeah, it dot only.
7 or 8 months.
When we say it dot only, what it does, or test dot
If I
only, what
talk
it
about
does,
content and all, it's 7.8 plus. I have been
It
completely
skips the other
other
test
something like as a
cases
news
and
article.
other test cases available in that file, right?
How explains it,
yeah.
content model
Yeah.
explains that.
What is describe and why we use describe?
Content 7.8, you can write. Okay. And I never detached with the content.
Describe is a
It's
predefined method
yeah,
from
that is
JEST
okay.
library.
Okay.
It is used
And
to
recently
wrap
Java,
a group of test
I have
cases.
experience, but I want to work daily basis now. That is the thing you can keep one else
Technically, we can say describe method is used to create test suite, right?
Yeah.
To create a test case, what is the method we use?
It.
Yeah, yeah,
It or test. Both of them are fine, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Inside a test
Yeah.
suite, how many test cases we can have?
13.2.
Any number.
Any number of test cases we can have.
Yeah.
What is expect? And
Because
expect
depends
is a
on the
method
issue,
from which
answers
library?
upfront. Here one can do one together.
Jest.
I do
JEST.
this.
Why we use expect method?
I have 80% hang.
Expect method compares the actual value with the expected
Yeah,
value,
that's it. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, what all JEST methods we have?
1920.
Hmm?
Features.
What all methods we have?
To be.
To be. To be is used to compare primitive values, right?
Yes.
After to be,
Not to. Equal.
Equal.
not to be, right?
To.
To equal, right?
Not to equal.
To check the truth values,
কে
what we have?
True.
To be truthy.
To be truthy, to be falsy, right? We have other methods also, to be null, to be defined, not to be defined. For numbers, we have to be greater than, to be less than. To be and to equal are same for numbers, but to be will not work for object and array. For object and array, what function we have?
Two equal.
To equal.
To equal.
না
For strings, we have to match.
এসব জায়গায় দিতে
For
যাবে না
array, we have to contain, right? Then what are global functions? What is just global function? How many global functions we have?
Four.
before all before each after four we have four we have
What is the use of global function? Why are we using global function?
use
Before every test is running, we want to do.
If we are repeating
before
any piece of code, instead of repeating the
yeah,
piece of
muted
code,
করে দাও before and after every each and every function if we want to run some particular test cases to test that then we need this
yeah. If in a file there are 10 test cases, before all will be called for how many times?
Once.
10.
10
After all,
times
One time.
one
Once.
time
before each,
10
10.
times.
10
after each.
10 times.
না ভুল হচ্ছে বিফোর ইজ আপনি ওয়ান ওয়ান বিফোর
Okay.
ইজ প্রতিটা
The last thing is snapshot testing. So snapshot testing we saw with one example also. Please practice all these things. If you don't practice, it is easy to forget. When you practice, at least the things will be there in your mind for longer time. So please make sure you practice. This repository is there already in GitHub. If you want, you can download or you can see.
আর বল আমাদের তোমাদের
interview
JEST.
question huh
Oh, is it not there? Let me check.
Sanjay there won't be
Huh.
any class from tomorrow
Tomorrow there will be class.
okay so will you discuss somewhat about interview related questions like not only
Yeah,
React Java and React Plus
yeah, we'll discuss.
yeah
We have session tomorrow.
okay
Let me search JEST. JEST. No, unit unit testing. Angular unit testing we have. Okay, I'll create another repository. I'll create a repository with name JEST demo and I'll push new repository. The repository name is JEST demo.
It's demo.
I'll create it.
Want to show me something? Yes. What? I have document from my vet, and they're saying the dog's a mixed breed with a spotted coat. I have a whole certificate.
Yeah. So if you see here, the code is pushed. Look for this repository. You will be able to find the code. Go through it. Try to write your own test cases also. Let's connect tomorrow. Thank you. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, good day, sir.
Thanks.